From the story. Don't press that. She yelled too late. I touched it. Now I'm going to Eli Ward had only been on the alien ship Jiraka for 3 days. He still wasn't used to the soft purple lights, the smooth metal floors that didn't make a sound, or the strange food that tasted like cold jelly. Everything was clean, quiet, and tightly controlled. As one of the first humans chosen for the Galactic Science Exchange, Eli knew he had to be careful. Respect their rules, don't touch anything without permission, and don't wander alone. His Earth advisor had warned, but Eli was curious, maybe too curious. He had always loved machines. Back on Earth, he fixed old robots and rebuilt scrap. Drones for fun. That's why he joined the program in the first place, to learn how alien tech worked. He didn't come all the way across the stars just to sit in a classroom. So when the lights flickered on the third morning and the alien crew rushed toward the engine bay, Eli saw his chance. The hallway to the lab area was empty. No guards. No cameras. At least, none he could see. Just a quick look. He whispered to himself. He walked slowly, his boots almost silent against the dark floor. The doors here were marked with glowing alien symbols. He couldn't read them, but one door was already half open. Inside was a strange room, filled with tall glass cylinders and floating metal shapes. In the center of the room was a small platform with a console made of stone and light. It looked old, very old, different from the rest of the ship's smooth design. Eli stepped closer. The console pulsed gently, like it was breathing. Then, without warning, a voice shouted from behind him, "Don't press that." He turned. Commander Rayla stood at the door, her skin glowing faintly blue in panic. She was an alien of the Valaris species, tall, graceful, with 4 slender arms, and eyes that shimmered like glass. She wore a dark silver uniform, and her tone was sharper than usual. Eli froze. But his hand had already touched the console. Just for a second, a bright flash of light filled the room. Eli felt a warm surge rush through his arm, into his chest, then up into his head. His vision went white, then black, then normal again. He stumbled backward. What was that? He gasped, looking at his hand. It was glowing. Not burning, not painful, just glowing softly. Like golden light under the skin. Rayla rushed to him. She didn't yell this time. She scanned him with a small tool, her hands moving fast. Her expression changed from anger to something else, shock, maybe even fear. "You should not be alive," she whispered. "That's comforting," Eli muttered, still staring at his hand. "What was that thing?" Rayla didn't answer right away. Instead, she pulled out a communication device and said something in her own language. A few seconds later, 2 guards arrived and stood at the door. Eli looked at them, then back at her. "I wasn't trying to break anything. I didn't know it would react like that." Rayla finally looked at him again. Her voice was calm but serious. "That console is part of the Ethereum core. It's not from our ship. It's from an ancient species older than both of our civilizations. We keep it locked and inactive. No one is allowed to touch it, not even our scientists." "Then why is it here?" Eli asked. "Because we are trying to understand it," she replied. "But it has killed every being who tried to connect with it." Eli blinked. "Wait, killed?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, touching it has caused organ failure, cell collapse, and in some cases, disintegration. You are the first being in history to make contact and survive." Eli took a step back, heart pounding. "That's not good, is it?" Rayla looked at his glowing skin again. "No, it means something changed, either in you or in the core." He suddenly felt lightheaded and sat down on a nearby bench. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," he said. "I just wanted to learn." She paused. Then, to his surprise, she sat down across from him. "Curiosity is natural, among humans especially. But you must understand this ship is not just for science. It is full of things we do not fully control." Eli looked at his hand again. The glow was fading slightly, but he could still feel something moving under his skin, like a current or energy. "So, what now?" Rayla stood. "Now, we study you, carefully, quietly, and you do not leave your quarters unless I am with you. Understood?" He gave a small, nervous nod. Yeah, got it? The guards escorted him back through the hallway, this time with Rail walking beside him. She didn't say much, but every now and then she glanced at his hand, and every time she did, Eli had the same strange feeling that this was only the beginning. From the story, "Don't press that," she yelled to Late. I touched it. Now I'm glowing to Eli Ward sat alone in a quiet room. The walls were smooth and silver, with a soft blue light coming from above. There were no windows, only one door. He had been inside for 2 days. He wasn't a prisoner, but it felt that way. His hand had stopped glowing, but the strange feeling inside him hadn't gone away. He felt warmer, sharper, like his mind was working faster than before. His memories were clearer. He even started to hear faint whispers when he closed his eyes, like a voice he couldn't understand. Every few hours, Commander Rayla came in with scanning tools and asked him questions. What did he feel? Did anything hurt? Had he seen anything strange in his dreams? Yes, Eli had said that morning. I dreamed about a city, floating in space. Giant towers made of crystal, and stars falling like rain. Rayla had gone quiet. She didn't ask anything else. Now, Eli sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the metal floor. He felt trapped, but not just in the room. Trapped in his own body. Something had changed. When he touched that console, something big. Suddenly, the door opened. Rayla stepped in with a serious look on her face. She was not alone. 2 other aliens followed her, one with deep green skin and dark eyes, the other with gold stripes on her arms. They were black badges. Higher rank, Eli guessed. Eli. Rayla said calmly, "We need to talk." He stood up slowly. "Am I in trouble?" "No, but we are concerned." The green-skinned alien stepped forward. "I am High Specialist Vertal. This is Commander Gyra. We are here to study the effects of the core's energy on your biology." "Why?" Eli asked. "I feel fine. Just a little different." Vertal looked at Rayla, then back at him. "Different is dangerous. We scanned your blood. Your cells are changing, repairing themselves faster, adapting. You're not just healthy, you're improving." Eli frowned. "That sounds good, doesn't it?" "Not always." Gyra said, "Rapid adaptation could mean mutation, or worse, contamination. You could become something else entirely." Eli felt cold. "But I'm still me, for now," Vertal replied. "We need to monitor your mind, your thoughts, your connection to the core." "I'm not connected to anything," Eli said. "I didn't ask for this." Rayla finally spoke. "We know, but the core is not like other machines. It chooses who it reacts to, and it chose you." Eli sat down again, this time with a heavy sigh. "Why me?" Rayla walked closer. "Maybe it saw something in you. Humans are new to this galaxy. Your kind is unpredictable, curious, brave, sometimes foolish." "Thanks," Eli muttered. She smiled slightly. "That wasn't a joke." There was a short silence. Then Gyra spoke again. "We need you to come with us. We're moving you to the deep lab. It's safer for all of us." Eli stood, still unsure. "Fine, but I want answers. I want to know what this core is, why it's inside your ship, and what it wants from me." Rayla nodded. "You'll get answers, soon." The deep lab was 3 levels below the main decks, cold and quiet. The walls were thicker. The doors locked with both code and DNA. Eli sat in a chair surrounded by machines. They scanned his brain, his heart, even his dreams while he slept each day. He felt the changes more clearly. He could read alien symbols on the walls without being taught. He started to feel when machines nearby were active even before they made a sound. One night, something strange happened. Eli woke suddenly from sleep. The room was dark, but he wasn't alone. There was a light, soft and golden, floating in front of him. A shape, a figure, not solid, but made of energy. It spoke without words. Images filled his mind, ruins in deep space, giant stone structures orbiting a dying star, creatures made of light like the one before him, then war, darkness, a hunger spreading across the stars. A world lost. Eli gasped and fell back. The vision stopped. The light was gone. He called for Rayla. She arrived in minutes. I saw something. He said, it wasn't a dream. It felt real. What did you see? She asked. He told her everything. The ruins, the star, the creatures, the war. Rayla looked deeply worried. You've seen precursor memories. Precursor, Eli repeated. She nodded. The ones who built the core, a species long gone. More advanced than any alive today. Some think they shaped entire galaxies. Others believe they were trying to stop something dangerous. Why am I seeing their memories? Eli asked. Because the core is alive, Rayla said. Not like you and me, but in its own way. It remembers, and now, it's using you to remember with. Eli sat still, the weight of the truth sinking in. He wasn't just glowing. He was part of something ancient, something bigger than any one person or species. What happens next? He asked. Rayla's voice was quiet. That depends on what the core wants, and what you choose to do with it. Eli looked down at his hand. The glow had returned, faint, but steady, and for the first time, he didn't feel afraid. He felt ready. From the story. Don't press that, she yelled too late. I touched it. Now I'm glowing to 3 days past. Eli Ward was no longer just a guest on the Jiraka. He had become something else, a subject, a mystery, maybe even a warning. The alien scientists tested him every day. Blood, skin, brain scans. They gave him special foods, tracked his sleep, and kept records of every word he spoke. At first, Eli felt nervous, then annoyed. Now, he was simply tired, but inside, something was growing. Not physically, but mentally. He could feel it. Eli sat in the deep lab, staring at the floating screen in front of him. The words were in the Valeri language, the language of Rayla's people, but he could read them clearly now. Power output, stable. Core reaction, silent. Subject glow level, moderate. He didn't need a translator. He didn't know how. But he understood the alien writing as if he had learned it long ago. Rayla noticed. She walked over with a soft, worried expression. You've never studied our language. How are you reading that? I just can. Eli answered quietly. I don't even have to try. She looked down at her scanner. Your brainwaves are changing. You're accessing patterns no human should have. Eli stood and stepped away from the screen. It's not just the language. I can hear things too. Machines, energy fields. Even when you're using your comlink outside the room, I hear tiny bits of it. Like whispers. Rayla stared at him. She didn't speak for a moment. Then, finally, she said, You are connecting with the core on a deeper level. This is not only physical now. It's becoming mental. That night, the visions returned. When Eli closed his eyes, he saw another world. This time, it was clearer. He walked through a precursor city made of light and crystal. The towers reached into space. Creatures shaped like flowing wind floated beside him. They didn't speak, but he understood them anyway. Then the sky cracked. A wave of darkness poured over the city. A force, black and endless, swallowing light. He heard screaming, millions of voices calling out in fear. And then silence. Eli woke up sweating. His skin glowed again, brighter than ever before. The next morning, the ship buzzed with quiet tension. Rumors spread through the alien crew. Some said Eli was becoming a weapon. Others believed he was dangerous and should be put into stasis only. Rayla defended him. He is the first to survive the core's touch, she said during a council meeting. He might be the only one who can understand what the precursors left behind. But one voice stood against her. A tall alien named Vestral, a member of the Cellin Archive, stood with sharp eyes and a hard tone. Or he is a mistake, a human accident that could destroy us all. I say we remove the threat before it spreads. Rayla stood calmly. You fear what you do not understand. That's not science. That's weakness. Vestral narrowed his eyes. You've grown attached to him. That clouds your thinking. Eli wasn't at the meeting, but Rayla told him what happened later. They think I'm a bomb, Eli said, pacing the lab. Like I'll explode and take your ship with me. Not all of them, Rayla said. But the Cellin Archive has power. They were never happy about humans joining the Galactic Exchange. They think your species is too young, too wild. Well, they're not completely wrong, Eli said, sitting on the edge of the bed. But they don't understand what I've seen. There's something coming. The darkness in those visions, it's not just a memory. It's a warning. Rayla looked at him with wide eyes. You think the precursor enemy is still out there? I don't think. Eli replied, I know. That night, the attack came. Eli woke to sirens. The walls flashed red. Outside his room, guards shouted orders in alien tongues. Rayla burst through the door. Come with me. Now. What's happening? Eli asked, standing fast. Someone shut down the core's containment field. It's unstable. If it overloads, it could destroy the entire ship. They ran through the corridors. The lights flickered above. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became. Smoke drifted from vents. The hum of the core grew louder with each step. When they reached the core chamber, Eli stopped in shock. The stone console was glowing again, but this time, the light pulsed like a heartbeat. Red, yellow, white. Estral stood near it, hands raised, trying to control the flow of energy with a device. But it wasn't working. You can't stop it. Eli said, It doesn't want you. Vestral turned, rage on his face. This is your fault. Before anyone could stop him, he activated the device again. The core's light exploded outward. A wave of force knocked everyone down except Eli. He stood in the center of the storm, glowing brighter than ever. His eyes shimmered with golden light. The core responded to him, only him. Eli raised his hand. Calmly, slowly. The energy quieted. The pulsing slowed. The core dimmed to a soft blue glow. Silence filled the room. Estral was unconscious. Rayla stood, eyes wide, barely able to speak. You calmed it, she said. I didn't calm it, Eli replied. It listened. Rayla stepped forward. It sees you now, not just as a host, but as a guide. Eli looked down at his hands. They still glowed, but now the light felt warm, peaceful. I think it wants to show me more, he said quietly, and I'm ready. From the story. Don't press that, she yelled too late. I touched it. Now I'm going to the ship. Jiraka hummed softly as it floated through the endless black of space. Eli Ward had spent days learning to control the strange power inside him. The glow under his skin was no longer a surprise. It was part of him now. Commander Rayla stayed close, guiding him through the ship's corridors and sharing what she knew about the ancient core. Eli trusted her, even if he still didn't understand everything. But not everyone on the ship shared that trust. In the ship's dark corridors, a group of officers whispered quietly behind locked doors. Their leader was Vestral, the tall alien from the Cellin archive who had tried to destroy the core earlier. We cannot allow this human to control the core, Vestral said, his voice low and angry. He is dangerous. If the core answers to him, all of our secrets will be lost. One of the officers nodded. What is your plan? Vestral's eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. We will take him down before he learns too much. The core must be sealed or destroyed. No human can be allowed to wield this power. Meanwhile, Eli and Rayla prepared to enter the core vault, a secret chamber deep inside the ship, where the core's true power was stored. This was where the ancient messages were hidden. Waiting for someone to unlock them, Eli felt nervous. What if the core doesn't want me to enter? Rayla smiled gently. It shows you. It trusts you. But we must be careful. The door to the vault opened slowly. Inside, a vast chamber stretched out, filled with strange floating symbols and glowing stones. Eli stepped forward. As he moved, the light inside him grew stronger. The core was calling to him. Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed. The core vault door slammed shut. Eli and Rayla were trapped. We've been betrayed, Rayla said, her voice tense. Outside the door, Vestral's voice came through the comm system. You've gone too far, Rayla. The human is a threat. We are taking control. Ellie's heart raced. What do they want? Rayla looked at him, eyes hard. To lock the core away forever and you with it. The air in the vault grew thick with energy. The glowing stones hummed louder. Ellie's skin glowed brighter, pulsing with power. He realized that Vestral's team had cut off the core's normal energy flow. They wanted to force the core into a shutdown, but that could destroy everything. We have to act fast, Eli said. Rayla nodded. There's a control panel behind that stone arch. It might allow us to reset the core's energy. Eli moved quickly, his hands glowing as he touched the symbols on the arch. The light flowed from him to the stones, connecting. Like a river of energy. Outside, the doors shuddered. Vestral's team tried to break in. Hold on, Rayla said, activating a force field. The wall shook with the impact of heavy weapons. Inside, Eli felt the core responding to him. Images flashed in his mind, visions of ancient worlds, battles fought long ago, and a terrible darkness threatening to return. He understood now. The core was not just a machine. It was a guardian, and it needed him. Suddenly, the force field flickered. The doors cracked open. Vestral and his soldiers rushed in. Eli stood tall, glowing with golden light. Stay back, he shouted. Vestral sneered. You're no match for us, human. But Eli raised his hand. Energy shot out like lightning, striking the weapons and forcing the soldiers to the ground. Rayla joined him, her forearms moving quickly to disable the attackers. Together, they pushed Vestral's team back. Vestral glared at Eli. You think your power can save you? Eli took a deep breath. It's not just power. It's a choice. He reached out and touched the core's control panel again. The glowing stone shone brightly, and a wave of energy swept through the room. The attackers dropped their weapons. Stunned. The core's voice echoed in Ellie's mind, a calm, ancient sound. You are the chosen one. The galaxy needs you. Vestral snarled and tried to attack again, but Eli moved faster. A flash of light burst from his hand, and Vestral fell to the floor, unconscious. Rayla checked the fallen alien. He won't wake for a while. Eli nodded, exhausted but steady. We can't stay here, Rayla said. The ship is divided now. Some will want to protect you. Others will try to destroy you. Eli looked at the glowing core. I don't know what comes next, he said. But I know this. Rayla answered. You are not alone. As they left the vault, Eli felt stronger. The core's light flowed through him like a river. He was no longer just a human. He was part of something greater. And the galaxy would soon know it. From the story, Don't press that, she yelled to Late. I touched it. Now I'm glowing. To the Jiraka drifted quietly through space, its vast engines humming softly. Deep inside the ship, Eli Ward and Commander Rayla prepared for a journey unlike any other. The core had spoken to Eli in visions and whispers. But now it was time to see the source of its power, the ancient station called the Ethereum Vault. Eli stood in the docking bay, watching the stars outside. His skin still glowed faintly with golden light. The strange power inside him was steady now, almost familiar, yet the weight of what lay ahead pressed heavily on his shoulders. Rayla approached. Are you ready? Eli nodded slowly. I don't think I have a choice. Together, they boarded a small shuttle. The ship's crew watched silently as the shuttle detached from Jiraka and headed toward the dark shape hanging in orbita. Massive station covered in glowing runes and ancient markings. The Ethereum Vault was a relic from a time long before any living species. It orbited a black dwarf star, cold and lifeless, but full of secrets. As the shuttle docked, Eli felt the core's energy pulse stronger. It was calling him home. Inside, the vault was a labyrinth of halls lined with crystals and glowing symbols. The air was thick with ancient power. Ellie's glowing hands lit the way as they moved deeper and deeper. Suddenly, a vast chamber opened before them. At its center was a giant crystalline structure, the heart of the core. It pulsed slowly, sending waves of light across the room. Rayla stepped forward. This is where it all begins. Eli reached out, his hand trembling. As he touched the crystal, memories flooded his mind. He saw the precursors, a race far beyond any living being. They had built the core to protect the galaxy from a terrible enemy, a force of pure darkness. Called the Null Wave, this enemy fed on life and light, spreading destruction wherever it went. The precursors had created the core as a weapon and a warning. But they failed to stop the Null Wave completely. It was still out there, Waiting. Eli gasped. Pulling back. The enemy is coming back. Rayla's face was grim. And you are the first into 100,000 years to connect with the core. The only one who can fight it. But how? Eli asked. I'm just a human. You are more than that now. Rayla said, the core has chosen you. Your body and mind have changed. You are the key. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the vault. The lights flickered. An incoming ship, Rayla said, eyes narrowing. They're coming to stop us. Ellie's heart raced. Who those? Who fear the core's power? Rayla answered. The Cellin Archive. They want to destroy the vault and you. They hurried through winding tunnels, following glowing markers that led deeper into the station. Eli felt the core's energy growing stronger with every step. His skin shone brighter, and his mind buzzed with knowledge he didn't understand. At last, they reached a small control room filled with ancient consoles. Eli placed his glowing hand on a panel, and the room lit up with holographic maps of stars and ships. Rayla pointed to a symbol blinking red. That's the approaching vessel. Eli studied the map. Can we stop it? She shook her head. Not by force, but maybe by using the core's power. Eli hesitated. What do you mean? The core can send out a pulse, Rayla explained. A wave of energy that can disrupt ships and systems. But it requires someone to channel. It's someone connected to the core. Eli looked at his glowing hands. That's me, Rayla nodded. You will need to focus. The energy can be dangerous if not controlled. Outside, the enemy ship closed in fast. Eli took a deep breath, steadying his nerves. He placed both hands on the console. Energy surged through him. His body glowed brighter and brighter until the whole room shone like a star. He raised his hands toward the viewport. A powerful pulse shot out from the vault, waves of golden light rushing through space. Toward the enemy ship. The enemy ship trembled, systems failing one by one. Lights went dark, engines sputtered. It was caught in the core's energy field. The ship dropped from orbit and began to drift helplessly. Inside the vault, Eli collapsed onto the floor, exhausted but alive. Rayla helped him up. You did it. Eli smiled weakly. I didn't do it alone. Suddenly, the console beeped again. New data streamed in. Rayla read aloud. The core is sending a signal. A message from the precursors. Eli looked up. What does it say? She studied the symbols. It's a warning. The null wave will return stronger. We must prepare. Ellie's smile faded. The fight was only beginning. Days passed inside the vault. Ellie's connection to the core grew deeper. He learned to control the energy flowing through him. He could sense ships in space, read ancient texts, and even communicate with Rayla without words. But the threat of the null wave and the Cellin Archive hung over them like a shadow. Eli knew the galaxy needed a defender, and he would be that defender. From the story, don't press that. She yelled to Late. I touched it. Now I'm glowing to the stars outside. The Ethereum vault blinked silently. Inside, Eli Ward stood at the heart of the ancient station, glowing with power that felt both strange and familiar. The core's energy flowed through him like a river of light, filling every cell of his body. Commander Rayla stood beside him, watching carefully. You have changed, Eli, more than I ever expected. Eli looked at his hands, still glowing softly. I feel it, like I'm not just human anymore. You are something new, Rayla said. A bridge between the past and the future. Outside the vault, the galaxy held its breath. The null wave, a dark force of destruction, was returning. It moved across star systems like a shadow, consuming everything in its path. The precursors had fought it long ago, but failed to destroy it. Now, only Eli and the core stood in its way. Rayla brought up a holographic map. Red dots showed the null wave's advance. It will reach us soon. We must act, Eli nodded. But how? The core gives me power, but I don't know how to fight something like this. Rayla smiled. You don't fight it like a weapon. You fight it like a human. Eli frowned. What do you mean? Your creativity, your spirit, your will, these are your greatest strengths. She said. The precursors never understood that. They built machines to fight the null wave, but only a living being with heart can defeat it. The core pulsed louder. Eli felt the energy rising inside him. His skin shimmered gold and blue. He closed his eyes and reached deep into himself. Visions came of light and dark, of worlds lost and saved. He saw humans standing tall against impossible odds, not because they were the strongest, but because they never gave up. Opening his eyes, Eli stepped forward to the main control panel. He placed his glowing hands on it, feeling the core respond. Send a pulse, Rayla instructed, but this time a recursive loop. It will trap the null wave's consciousness and turn it against itself. Eli hesitated. That sounds dangerous. It is. But it's our only chance outside the vault. The null wave's shadow loomed closer. It was a swirling mass of dark energy, alive and hungry. Eli focused. He channeled the core's energy through himself, gathering it like a storm. Then, with a shout, he released it. A brilliant wave of light exploded from the vault, shining across space like a beacon. The null wave roared, the darkness twisting and turning as the light wrapped around it. Ellie's voice echoed in the core's mind. Face yourself. The recursive pulse trapped the null wave's consciousness, forcing it to confront its own endless hunger. Inside the vault, Eli collapsed, exhausted but alive. The glow faded slowly from his skin, replaced by a calm warmth. Rayla helped him. Sit, you did it. Eli smiled weakly. We did it, but this is only the beginning, she said. The galaxy will never be the same. Word spread quickly across the stars. A human who touched the ancient core and defeated the null wave became a legend. Leaders from many species sent messages of respect and hope. Humans were no longer newcomers, they were heroes. Eli returned to the Jiraka, greeted by cheers from alien crew and new friends. He looked out at the stars, feeling proud but humble. He knew that the power he held was not just from the core. It came from his humanity, his courage, his hope, and his refusal to give up. In the days that followed, Eli and Rayla worked to unlock more secrets of the precursors together. They built new alliances, sharing knowledge and technology. The galaxy faced many challenges ahead, but humanity had proven it was ready, not because they were perfect, but because they were strong in ways no machine could ever understand. As Eli looked toward the future, his skin still faintly glowing, he knew one thing for sure. Humans were not just survivors. They were the light that would guide the galaxy through the darkness. And that was the greatest power of all.